Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Wimbledon. If we could get 400 likes on this video, that would be genuinely fantastic. I do apologise for my voice today. I kind of lost my voice a couple of days ago, so it's back now, sort of, but I just have to be a bit careful, basically. So if I do sound a little bit low, then that is the reason for that. Now, of course, I don't have any highlights to show you because, well, it's the first game of the season, but we do have other stuff to talk about. So we're just going to dive straight in, but there's a couple of things I want to address, actually, before we get into things. So, of course, I've got players to show you, and I look forward to showing you that, but there's a couple of things before we get into that. Firstly, a question of the day, and today's question is this: who is your favourite team to manage on FM? And this is a nice easy one really for me, because I really love managing IFK Yortobor. I did a little brief, well, obviously I did one on FM14 with them, which was actually on YouTube, and then I managed them a little bit on FM15, just sort of a little mini save I was doing just offline to test stuff out. But this year, my offline save that I'm doing, and I may stream some of it as well, is IFK Yortobor. I just really love the team. I sort of started, when I was learning Swedish a couple of years ago, I sort of fell in love with the team themselves, and yeah, basically that's the reason. So who's your favourite team to manage on FM? Do let me know. Now, a couple of other things. Firstly, I just wanted to take a second to wish a subscriber of mine, Thomas Almond, a speedy recovery. Yeah, and I'm sure everyone shares the sentiments of me, but Thomas is a regular commenter, and he's ill at the moment, and I really hope that you do recover soon, mate. So just thought I'd say this here. I won Manager of the Season. Now, not that that is a huge surprise, but sometimes it is a bit of a surprise, frankly, because rarely do you actually ever get those awards. I've had... yeah, well, you've seen kind of how I've had it in the past, where we've won divisions and done all kinds of crazy things and still not won Manager of the Season because it's gone to someone random or something. But there you go. Next thing up is important. I'm going to take you through the tactic as well, because I promised I would do this. I'm literally recording this Monday morning to go out Monday evening. So I'm going to take you through the tactic as well in a sec before we get into things. There's one other thing that I want to talk about. Right. The board have decided to build a new stadium, and I'm pretty certain that this is hard-coded into the game, unfortunately, because the stadium is called New Plough Lane, and I don't know how the game would manage to generate that off of the normal stuff if it was just a random thing. So I think, and a couple of people have told me this happens, that it is hard-coded, and now the problem is that the board have now lumbered us with debt as a result of it. It's costing £15 million. Some of that has obviously been paid for in grants and selling the old stadium, but most of it's coming out of loans. So we're now something like £6 million in debt. We're paying back hundreds of thousands of pounds in loans every single month now. Big trouble, basically, which is why, although some of you may have noticed this, but I'm surprised no one has yet, that in the last episode, when we showed the transfer suggestions, we actually had £17,000 in wage budget available, which I hadn't noticed. So we actually have a massive transfer fund. The problem is, I've barely been able to spend any of it for that very reason. I cannot afford to spend it, basically, because the club will just go into huge debt, and so we're going to try to have to do what we do on a shoestring this year, basically, and then just try to wheel and deal as we do. And the fact is, it's worked for us so far, so I don't see any reason why it won't continue to do that. Right, so enjoy some transfers now. I'll take you through the stuff one by one, and we can talk about them as we go. Salvatore da Girolamo, the Italian from Bishop Stortford I was talking about, he has joined us for £475, which frankly is, well, it's a bit of a steal, really. But the thing is, he's going to improve, you know, that he's got a decent potential. For that kind of money, you can't really turn it down, can you? That's the thing about it. Wayne Bentley did also join, this time for £500, but he's improving massively already. So that's good. He's a defensive forward, more of a target man, but I still think that we can maybe train him in other roles, maybe getting him as a bit of a free, but he's got some very poor stats as well in other areas. But the areas where he's good, he's very good. So that's kind of good, and we'll take that for now. Dominic Sharples, coming in from Radcliffe Butter. He's actually got a double hernia, which is a bit of a pain, so he's going to have a little bit of his development harmed currently at this point. But 700 quid, he's valued at 700 quid. He's coming, and I think we've got a pretty good deal on him. So far, 3 players, and we've only spent like less than £2,000. It's brilliant stuff. Josh Folkingham has actually joined us on a permanent transfer. He was released by Dunfermline at the end of the season. Now, okay, he's not fantastic in terms of his actual star stats or whatever, but I just felt that he did a good enough job to warrant a contract with us, basically, for a season, just to sort of try him out. I think he's actually on a 2-year deal. No, he's not. He's on a 1-year deal just to sort of test things out. I think we've got an option to extend if we want it, so it's perfect for us. Next up is Reece Marshall, and he's probably our biggest outlay at £21,000. But he came up, he's a real player as well, came up in a scout report, literally almost immediately after I recorded the last episode. And I thought, actually, I'll tell you what, he's got a little bit of potential now. He's got a little bit of ability now and some potential, and he's a right back but can also play in the centre if need be, but he's not particularly great. His jumping reach is very poor, and his heading is pretty poor, so I would never play him there. But yeah, there you go. So I'm pleased about him. He's only 21, so he's got a little bit of room to improve, but it means that Barry Fuller now has a backup to him, which is important, as long with other players coming through as well. Michael Brown is another one of them, one of Mrs. Brown's boys. I know they're from Northern Ireland, not Southern Ireland, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so he's joined us too, and he actually looks really solid potential, and his current ability isn't even that bad either. It's 2 stars. I can't really be complaining about it. He's 17 years old, and he actually looks bloody brilliant already, so really pleased with him. Adam Brown, also very good. Similar position stuff, not quite as good currently, cost us half the money. He cost us basically £3,000. Michael Brown, however, cost us £6,500, but this is still very small outlays, and that's very important. Alistair Rattray has also joined us, and he's actually 1 star at the moment as well, so he'll probably get a bit of game time this year to boot, what with Back in Fenwa finally leaving the club, because £2,000 a week was a lot for us to be shelling out on one player that wasn't going to play every single game. Not only that, but his contract was up and he wanted to extend it to £3,000 a week on a 1-year deal. Not happening, Adebayo. No. The last of the permanent signings is John McKeever. We actually managed to land all of those players that I was showing you, basically, I think, and a couple of extra ones on top of that. So that's rare. Normally that won't always happen. Particularly at this level, I was very surprised that we managed to get them all. McKeever took a bit of persuading, and it did cost us £7,000 in the end. And as you can see, he's actually on £725 a week because he was not happy with the role, basically. So he's going to need to develop quickly, basically, in order to actually fill that role. And I feel like he can potentially do that this year. He's got some decent stats in certain areas. So I'm pretty pleased with him so far, but we are going to need to get him into some first team football, maybe get him out on loan. That way we can offset some of his wages this year while he improves. But that's the plan anyway. You thought I was done, but no. We've got some loan signings. Now, of course, Stoke has been an absolute goldmine for us. So we've got Ryan O'Reilly on loan. He is a centre-back. He actually looks pretty decent. He doesn't look like a centre-back, actually, to be honest. He looks like a schoolchild, but there you go. He is, of course, only 21 years old, so there you go. He's 3.5 stars at the moment. Sorry, 2.5 stars, with a bit of potential there too, so I just thought we can get him in basically for free for a season. We may as well have him on board. Next up from Stoke as well is Sergio Molina. He's more of a defensive midfielder, but obviously we can use him in the middle, where he'll probably play quite a bit for us, and he's a decent enough player as well. We're just getting him back up to get the strength of the squad up. The main plan this year was to bring in as many youngsters as I could, because we had little, I didn't want to use too much money, and then fill out the rest of the team with loan signings, basically, just to get us over the barrier of this first season in League One. Next up as well is Johnny Byrne. Now, he's on loan from Middlesbrough. Now, believe me, I looked at loaning about 30 different players before anyone that wasn't from Stoke would join us. Johnny Byrne is the first player that wasn't a Stoke player that was actually prepared to join us. I went through every single championship club looking at who they had available on loan, and literally no one would sign for us, or even just on loan for a little bit. There was one guy I really wanted, I think it was Tuchedine, who was at Charlton, who was available for loan, and even said he wanted to join us, but then rejected the contract, which was ridiculous because they were going to pay all his wages. But there you go. Johnny Byrne is a 4-star player, and I'm really pleased to have this lad in. He looks like he could be really solid at the back for us this year, so I'm pleased with him. That's Johnny Byrne, yes. The final new loan signing, because we do still have Oliver Shenton and I believe Teixeira as well on an extra year, as well as Kinsella has joined us for a second year as well. This is Anthony Ford, who we've got on loan from Walsall, who I believe were promoted, and that's the only reason I think that he's not playing for them, because he looks solid. He can play in all of those different positions. He's 22 years old, he's hungry, and he's got fantastic stats across the board, really. So I'm pleased with him, and he's the final player that's coming on loan for us. Right guys, we're on the tactics screen. I decided to skip ahead because this episode is going to have to be chopped up a little bit so it doesn't get too long. But I'm just going to do a quick pick to show you the team we're going to go with in this opening game. Although I definitely won't be playing Teixeira, that is for sure. Nightingale will start instead. And Lyle Taylor, unfortunately, isn't particularly fit either, which means it is going to be a case of possibly Aziz, but then we could swap them. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Maybe swap them over? Might have to do for now. It's still an area we're kind of working on, basically. But in the middle, we've got Aziz, Loveridge, Bartram, Shenton, Reeves, Frankham. Same sort of stuff there. Toure, Nightingale, Byrne, Fuller, and Shea. But then it's the bench where things start to hot up. We've got O'Reilly, Ford, Brown, interestingly, Marshall, Harris, Taylor. It's looking a little bit stronger. That's the sort of overall overriding factor. So as you can see, that is the team. You can see the roles already. No problem. We're on counter, flexible. These are the team tactics, basically. We're on a much lower tempo because it's a lower league. We may be able to up that as we go up the leagues a little bit more. As we get better players, we can increase that. But with this balance, we're pushed higher up and we're playing out defence, passing into space, which is useful for counter-attacking play. We do use an offside trap. We close down sometimes, so that's fine. We pass shorter, which is interesting on these sort of systems, but it works. We work our way into the box and we stick to positions. Now, as for the individual player instruction, so I'm just going to quickly run you through this because there's quite a few. Goalkeeper, well, I'm just going to take you through it one by one, so you can just pause at each one if you want to watch it, because look at how many there are on some of these guys. This was basically just because of the amount of tweaking that was required, frankly, because during that York second half, I was turning stuff on and off and off, particularly the fullbacks. They are absolutely vital to this tactic to make it work, frankly. And frankly, just the width in general. The midfield players generally don't have a lot of okay, apparently the box-to-box midfielder does, but it's mostly the width and the wide players that have a lot of instructions in this system, so you need intelligent ones, basically. But it worked in League 2, so I feel like it'll probably work maybe at even slightly lower level. That level is a very simple one. Just hold the ball up, spin it around the corner, basically. That's the only thing he has to do. I might tweak that as the season goes on. But there you go. That's what we're doing with this system so far. Again, tweaks are, of course, going to be made throughout the year. But yeah, so we're going to go with today's tactic like this against Luton. We're on defensive positioning because, well, I mean, we're actually playing against a team that came up with us. So if there was ever a good chance to get off to the perfect start of the season, it was today, although it is at Kenilworth Road. So things could still get a little bit dicey on that particular front. Right, let's get into this then. It's the same kind of it's the same system as last year. I did have a little look at testing out the other. Oh, hello. I thought we were going to get ourselves a goal already. Reeves, ball in. Knocks it down. Oliver Shenton, he didn't score a single goal for us last year. Has he got one in him this year? That would be nice. Obviously, he's more for creative purposes, although often he does play as the box-to-box player. Oh, my life. That was a bit poor from us. Obviously, it's going to take a little while to settle down. I feel like, you know, okay, we're not going to have the strongest squad in this league by any stretch. Go on, get there, get there, get there. Oh, oof. Defender just got caught on his toes a little bit there. Not on his toes, on his heels. But, you know, we're fine. I'd like to see if we can get a point today at Luton. I know that they're one of the weaker sides you think we should be beating, but we've not even had a shot yet. Right, okay, we may have to step this up a little bit. They're playing a 4-4-1-1, which, frankly, this system is usually pretty damn good against, but Mikhail Smith's through and he will score. No, he won't. And Shea's done well to get out to that. Okay, Luton have started well. We may have to go into the pro zone stats at half-time and take a little look at, see if we can figure out what Luton are doing that's working so phenomenally well for them so far. Because remember, we have done relatively well. I think we got 4 points against Luton last year. We beat them 3-1 at Kingsmeadow, and we also, I believe... Oh no, I think we won 2-0. Away from home. Loveridge is in here. Can he get a ball out? Shenton, can he slip it back for someone? We need that support. Toure out wide. This is where he needs to be big for us. Barcham, back for Toure. Go on. Oh, I feel like we're going to lose the ball and get countered on here. We're holding onto the ball a little too much today. That is a problem, and there's a lot of space if they fancy it. This is a very long highlight as well. God. McCourt ball out wide to McDonnell. They're playing a lot of width here. We need to be careful. Mikhail Smith, and this time it is in from Luton. And frankly, you cannot fault them for it. Apologies, my phone just went off in the background. They've been great so far, and we've been absolutely not at the races today. I think it's going to take a little while for the new players to bed in, but there's not that many of them playing today, which is a worry. So... Remember, our tactic, or not tactic, but our overall plan this year in League 2 is going to be to survive. That's what the board want to see, and that's all I really care about right now, is just staying up in this division at this point. I feel like we've got a good enough squad and tactic to maybe do that. Yeah, we're not going to win every game. It's going to be much, much tougher in this division than it was last year, but we've yet to have a single shot yet. We're getting a lot of the ball and not doing a lot with it, and that's the problem. Mikhail Smith again. Oh, don't let him score another one. If we can get to half-time at 1-0, we can take a little look at the pro zone stats. We won't overdo it, because I know that can get a little bit dull, but it's important to do that kind of thing. If you're in these sort of situations and can't figure out what is going wrong, then it's important to do that. There we go. We do need to... Oh, God. I have a horrible feeling, though, that they're going to get another goal before half-time, because we're just... I want to be able to make changes at half-time, basically. I just like to get there. They're nice round figures, and our fullbacks aren't pushing forward enough here. Franken was quite withdrawn for some reason. Reeves, he's into space. Can he pull it back? Damn it. Are Luton being forced to play it long? They actually are a little bit. That's better. Frank comes across. Bit of space now for him. Shenton, they're closing us down very quickly. Aziz is through here, and he's scored. Well, out of nowhere, we've got an equaliser, but that doesn't mean we won't be trying to change things at half-time, because frankly, we don't deserve an equaliser. Adebayo Aziz has come in there and he's scored for us. The deep line forward dropped a little deep, and was played through lovely by Oliver Shenton. It's a lovely little assist round the corner. Aziz loses his man, and it's a great first-time finish there. Goalkeeper maybe could have done a bit better, but it is Luton 1, Wimbledon 1, and that's perfect. If we can get to half-time at 1-1, there might be something in this game for us, but we're going to have to take this very slowly. Right, so we'll just get that bit done like that. We're just going to go straight in to this and just have a little look at their heat map and their average positions. Layering. So let's have a little look at Luton. Right, so Yonan has made a lot of key passes. That probably is the most important thing right now. It's generally played out to this right-hand side. So who's on their right-hand wing? That's where most of their opportunities are coming from. So if we can maybe close down the right-hand winger a lot more and get in tight on Yonan, who I presume is playing all those passes. Let's just have a little look. He's completed 22 passes and only had 1 intercepted. Where are most of his passes going to? They're all sort of around this area. Okay, I'm thinking, if we can close down Yonan... Okay, so we're going to close down those two a little bit more. So firstly, Yonan, the one sitting in behind there. Interesting, actually. We're going to close him down, and we are going to mark him a lot tighter, in fact. We're going to show him onto his weaker foot as well. We're also going to make sure that we close down Danny Green. Always, and tackle hard, show him onto his weaker foot, just because that seems to be the area where they're getting the most success. Right, so the idea is we're going to close down Yonan, or Jonan, a lot more, and we're going to mark him a lot tighter, which means he won't, in theory, be able to get into those spaces to spray those balls. We're also going to be closing down Danny Green a lot more, because he has kind of been the key man for them. And if we can block some of those crosses that he's been putting in, although we maybe should have checked to see if it was the fullback, maybe that was putting in the crosses, but if we can cut off the passing routes that Yonan is having, then maybe... Oh, that's poor. There we go. You know, try and limit them a little bit and just hope that our tactic itself will actually be decent enough in the second half. Barcham. There's not a lot of space. That's what I'm noticing as well. We're not getting a lot of free men. Nobody's making good runs for us at the moment. And I think that might be because of the way that they're marking us. Reeves. That's better. He's got a bit more support. Aziz. Loveridge is through here. Loveridge has scored. There we go. Luton 1, Wimbledon 2, and we have turned it around here. I don't know if those changes at halftime have made any difference to us, but it does seem that they look a little bit more neutered in this second half. Yes, some of our players will get dragged out of position in order to mark those players up, but we've got 2 men in these positions now, and straight little passes through the centre. Loveridge with the second one, Aziz with the first one. I feel like if we could just get a point here, it would be a good result for us. They've still had some more shots, but it seems like they're shooting from range a bit more, which is good. Now then, what else is left in this? We're not really creating a lot ourselves, but they've not really done anything in this second half. It's important that I go back and analyse this after the game to see if what we did actually made any difference. Also, it'd be important to know if Jonas does come off, basically. Right, so Shenton's on a booking, and he's not been playing great, but unfortunately we're lacking a little bit in those areas. In fact, I need to sort out my bench as well, even if it means putting younger players in, frankly. Ryan O'Reilly is going to come on. And who else could we maybe get on? Barcham, not really anyone there. Frankham. Let's get Anthony Ford on for George Frankham for a little bit. I know Frankham's our set-piece man, which is a bit of a risk, but I want to try out, see what Anthony Ford's got in the tank, maybe. He's maybe slightly more attacking, I don't know. Luton have not really had a single shot of note in this second half, I don't think. Oh, and Adebayo Aziz is injured. That is the last thing we needed right now. So it is going to be Lyle Taylor, but I'm going to switch him and Loveridge over. Taylor will be important for us this year. The issue is his fitness levels. He's just come back from quite a serious injury. If we were to get the win here, it wouldn't be a thoroughly deserved win, but the point is the tactical changes. Johan with the ball in, and oh, what a save that was. And that was nearly a horrible defensive error that cost us there, but we managed to get away with it. Can Ford give us a break? Loveridge or someone, I think it's Loveridge, is getting into the space right now. Ford, round the corner for Barcham. Can he pull it across the box? Are we going to get a chance here? No, we're not. Because Sunga's done well. 10 minutes to go now. Mikhail Smith is dropping quite deep to pick up the ball. So Luton have obviously thrown all caution to the wind at this point, and they're actually having quite a few shots, but we need to try and maintain this and just hope that the counter-attacking we can pull off will prevail over these last few minutes and maybe just catch them on the break. As long as we don't give the ball away here. Burn, back to Shea. We've got 5 minutes. Like I say, a draw would actually be a good result given the stats on this game and how not particularly brilliantly we've played. But if we were to win it, then that's important. Reeves, we've got a bit of support now. He's got space up in front of him. He needs to find a pass. Oh, there we go. Shenton. Shenton's through. Shenton's strike is well saved, and we've created another good opportunity. Still don't think we've deserved to win the game, but the fact is, I haven't seen a lot of key passes coming from Jonas in the second half. That's important to note. We'll have a look at that stat perhaps at the start of the next episode and see if we did actually nullify him as much as I think we did. Taylor! Oh, Lyle Taylor with a good strike as well, nearly making it 3-1 to Wimbledon. I'm just going to tell them to concentrate for these last couple of minutes just to see us over the line, and it looks like we are going to do it. Bartram's ball in, Loveridge is cleared, or not Loveridge is clear, but you know what I mean. Good tackle from O'Reilly, whips it into the box. Oh, what a strike that is from Taylor, but it is offside in the end, unfortunately. And that should do it, guys. Luton 1, Wimbledon 2. Yes, we weren't the better side on the night, but I still think that we've done well there. I'm just going to quickly check the analysis as well. So, Jonan, he still actually made a couple of key passes in that second half, but we're going to compare his first half stats to his second half stats, and believe me, this is important. 21 passes, and 4 of which were key passes. In the second half, however, Jonas, only 15 completed passes, only 2 of which were key. So we've actually really shut him down a little bit, and I think that made a lot of difference, frankly, because they didn't create as many chances. Certainly not towards the end of the game. So yeah, that's a little thing that we've done, and I hope that that's actually helped us in this game. We've managed to win it and get our first win in League. The next video is going to be this one, the home game against Peterborough United, who are 8th in the league at the moment. God knows where they'll be coming into the next match though, so we shall see. If you guys have enjoyed this episode, and the fact that we've actually won our first game in League One, away from home no less, then please do drop a like on the video. That would be fantastic. And if we could get, I don't know, 400 likes on it, that would be amazing even more. So I will see you guys in the next episode for the game against Peterborough United. And yeah, this is looking like it could be a good season for us, but only time will tell. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.